Kevin Durant's rings in Golden State have been one of the more polarizing awards in the history of basketball, as you have certain people that say his rings don't count due to the fact of him joining the super team that actually beat him in the process of coming back from 3-1 on him in the Western Conference Finals. And then you have other people that say, well, at the end of the day, he won those championships and you can't just take them off of his resume. And in today's video, we're going to answer the question on if Kevin Durant's rings count, and we're going to come to a legitimate conclusion. But before we get started, make sure you drop a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and press the bell for post notifications. It's your boy David from NBA Knowledge, and let's get this ball rolling and talk about KD's time at Golden State. Now, to understand why a lot of people were furious with Kevin Durant's decision, you have to go back to his time in OKC. Because when he was teaming up with Russell Westbrook, the hate for Kevin Durant was almost non-existent. I mean, you could go back to the time that he won MVP and gave that heartfelt speech and where he said to his mom that she's the real MVP. Everybody loved it. It kind of turned into a meme a little bit, but nonetheless, it was still something that people appreciated, and we saw that human side of KD. Add on to the fact that he was a great player, 7-footer that could do things that a guard could do. It was insane to see him on the court, and off the court he was obviously a great human being. So I believe he was one of the more likable players that we had ever seen. But then it came his decision after losing 3-1 to the Golden State Warriors in the Western Conference Finals. Many people assumed he was just going to go back to Oklahoma City, and if the reports are to be believed, apparently Kevin Durant even told Russell Westbrook and the Oklahoma City Thunder front office that he was going to stay in OKC. But obviously that did not happen. As we all know about the Hampton 5 mission, they went to KD's apartment, talked to him and recruited him, Steph, Draymond, Iguodala, Clay, the whole squad in Golden State, and hence the Hampton 5 was born due to the fact that Kevin Durant would join them in the offseason and become one of the most hated players in the history of basketball. I mean, throughout my entire 21 years of life, I have never seen a player get the amount of hate that KD got just by joining the Golden State Warriors, as a lot of people looked at it as a soft decision. We all know the famous quotes from Stephen A. Smith when it happened. It was the weakest decision in the history of all superstars, and honestly, I could not blame a lot of people who had felt that way due to the fact that this is a team that beat you. You were up 3-1 on this team, and not only were you up 3-1, but you were also telling the organization that you're going to come back, including one of your close friends. And then it even came out afterwards that KD didn't even tell Russell Westbrook to his face that he was going to leave to go to Golden State. Russell Westbrook found out about it online like the rest of us. This is a guy that's supposed to be a close friend, near a brother to you. That's what he called Russell Westbrook in his MVP speech, a brother to him, like his little bro. Obviously, he's not a real little bro to you if you can't even look him in the eye and tell him, hey, I'm going to go to a different team. I get it, it's the Warriors, they were your rivals at the time. You said you were going to stay in OKC, you changed your mind, but that happens. We are human beings. He's not going to kill you just because you're going to join a different team. It's basketball. Obviously, there may be some animosity there. There's going to be some disagreements. I understand that's human emotion. We all know, even to this day, for example, the Celtics' big three, yeah, they don't get along due to the fact that Ray Allen, as a role player, went to go join the Miami Heat's big three and help them win a championship in 2013. But this is a situation that if you guys are as close as you say you are, Russell Westbrook will eventually forgive you, or he may not even be as mad as you thought. But you going down the route of not even telling him at all and having him find out in the same way that us as normal people that don't even know either of them found out, that is ridiculous to me. And honestly, it really shows a lot about Kevin Durant's character, or at least his character at that time and how he treated that situation. But then you move on to his time in Golden State, and you have to give him credit where it's due. He dominated those NBA finals in ways I have not seen before. Because it's one thing if Kevin Durant went out there and averaged like 25, 26 points on solid efficiency and they just won in 5 or 6 games. But no, he dominated the NBA finals in a way that honestly, I've never seen LeBron get dominated before in an individual matchup. And to be fair to Kevin Durant, he's 7 feet tall. Not many people, if there are any people in the world, can actually guard him. But KD went into that final series and torched the Cleveland Cavaliers for an average of 35 points a game, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, a steal, and nearly 2 blocks on 55 to 56% shooting from the field, 47% shooting from 3 on nearly 8 attempts per contest, and nearly 93% shooting at the free throw line. And it wasn't like he was dominant on just one side of the ball. Defensively, he was also holding his own as well, as he was the rim protector for the Golden State Warriors, and he did a more than perfect job. Honestly, he was blocking a lot of shit every single play, it felt like. And then you move on to what he did in game 3 of that series, as they were down, I believe, almost 20 points in the fourth quarter. He would score 17 points in the fourth quarter, hitting the shot on LeBron James in his grill, and would win the game, which essentially won them the series, as they would go up 3-0. And we all know no team in NBA history has been able to come back from a 3-0 deficit. And then you move on to the 2018 NBA Finals, and Kevin Durant once again had an all-time great playoff series, or should I say NBA Finals series, as he averaged 29 points along with 8 assists and 11 rebounds, just over 2 blocks on 53% shooting from the field, 41% from 3, and 96% at the free throw line. And those numbers really don't do it justice as to how great he was at certain points in the series, especially once again in a game 3 in Cleveland. Because on LeBron's home court, obviously he would outplay LeBron, but a lot of people would sit there and say he had Steph, he had Clay, Draymond, all these other guys next to him. But in game 3, a game that was very losable as they won only in single digits, and considering that Cleveland Cavaliers roster is one of the worst rosters to ever make it to the NBA Finals, that should say a lot about how bad Steph, Clay, and Draymond played collectively, as Klay Thompson would only have 10 points on 36% shooting, and Steph Curry would have his worst game probably in the history of his NBA Finals appearances, with 11 points on only 3 of 16 shooting. But KD would go out there and drop 43 points, 13 rebounds, 7 assists, shooting 65% from the field, 67% from 3, and made all 7 of his free throws, which accumulates to a true shooting percentage of 82%. When I say he was unstoppable, that is an understatement. And obviously for his efforts, he would end up winning back-to-back finals MVPs in both of those series. But that really brings us back to square one. Do those rings really count? I mean, think about it. If I say all of those things that Kevin Durant did in those games and series, you can't really just take that away from his resume, because not only are those the greatest achievements of his career, but those might be some of the best performances in the history of basketball. I mean, we're talking scoring games that are just ridiculously insane, on efficiency that is almost godlike, that is securing them series. And I understand that the comp level they faced, they were better. I understand they faced teams that were inferior, and they were indeed the better team. He had Steph, he had Clay. Steph in games 1 and 2 of the 2018 series, guess what? He outplayed Kevin Durant. You could argue he outplayed him even in the closeout game. But in those game 3s, who came through? It was KD, because if it wasn't for his performances, they could have easily lost those games, and hence maybe the series could have gone 6 or 7 games. And if it goes 7 games, we all know anything can happen. So at the end of the day, you have to give Kevin Durant props, because those performances not only helped them win, but those are some insane performances that you can't just say, oh, he's on a super team, fuck it, it doesn't matter. No, I'm sorry, it just doesn't work that way. So Kevin Durant's rings do indeed count, but that does not mean I'm saying it's on the level of a Dirk ring, or the ring that Giannis got last year, this past NBA Finals against the Phoenix Suns. Nonetheless though, they still do count. They're not just erased off of his resume. But that's just my opinion. If you guys disagree, let me know down below in the comment section, and do not forget to drop a like down below and subscribe to the channel while you're at it. Turn us on post notifications as well. It's your boy David from NBA Knowledge. Y'all stay safe and have a blessed day. Peace.